Lawin Media Network.
Bringing to you the most relevant content across all platforms.
Business, legal, politics, health, lifestyle, and entertainment.
Your source for all the news and updates in the greater Houston community from Texas and all over the world.
Get informed and empowered with Lawin Media Network.
Good evening and welcome to another episode of the BizTalk. And this is actually episode 4, if you can imagine. My name is Bobby Reyes and I'm one of your co-hosts.
And I'm Manay Testuazon. Magandang umaga po sa mga nanonood sa Pilipinas.
Ilonggo naman.
Maayong aga sa inyo tanan.
Yeah, and like I said, welcome to the BizTalk. This is sponsored by the Philippine American Chamber of Commerce, Texas Greater Houston Region.
And produced by Lawin Media Network.
Yes, and we're glad you joined us again today. We have some stories to tell you what we did the last week, right?
Oh, yeah. We had a very nice weekend.
So last week was Philippine Independence Day. Was celebrated on June 12, 2025. It is the 127th anniversary. And of course, we were there to attend it's a gala in a way.
It's a gala. First time that they held a gala.
Yes. Tell us where it was held.
It was held at the Edison Library in downtown Houston, which is right next to the City Hall. So the city mayor just had to walk a block from his office.
Yeah, he had no excuse not to attend, right?
But he said, I really wanted to be here. So
yeah, he did.
That was fun.
And I read a little bit about the history of the Julia Edison building. It was the original library of Houston. It was built in 1927. At least it was the late 1920s. And it's now fully renovated and expanded. And it's also on the National Register of Historic Places. So it was a very nice place. And I thought it was interesting because we celebrated our independence from Spain, yet the building was reminiscent of Spanish architecture.
Yes, and also they say there's mumu there sometimes.
It's rumored to be haunted, but we did not see anything when we were there.
Not as when Filipinos get rowdy and happy. I don't think any ghosts would be able to withstand the noise.
Or they could have been there, we just didn't see it.
Oh, maybe they were.
But anyway, I'm sure they enjoyed it as well as we did. Thank you to the sponsors, the Philippine Consulate General here in Houston.
And the
Philippines.
The Kalayaan.
Yes, Philippines Kalayaan Houston.
PKH.
You're a former president of that group.
Yeah, I was one of the original officers of PKH, and they are the ones PKH is the one in charge of putting together a Philippine Independence Day activity along with the Philippine Consulate General's office. So,
yeah, and PKH is a 501c3, which is a tax-exempt organization. So any donations are tax deductible, right?
Yep, for the next event.
Yes, and so we had that event. I think we showed some pictures earlier. The very next day, Houston City Hall was lit up in the colors of the Philippine flag. So that was a big honor. That happened.
Red, white, blue,
and yellow.
And yellow, of
yes,
course.
And we forgot to say the mayor also proclaimed June 12, 2025 as Philippine Independence Day in Houston. It's a city proclamation.
And it was the first time that Mayor Whitmire
attended one of our
attended
events.
one of our guests. He is the incumbent mayor.
Yes, and he's fully supportive of everything that the Filipino community is going to be putting together. And so we're going to look forward to more collaborations with him.
Yeah, and he enjoyed the party so much that I had to pry him away from the people that wanted to have pictures with him
Yeah,
because he had somewhere else to go. So I had to tell him, Mr. Mayor, you got to go.
you were the bodyguard.
You know me, I'm the mother superior. So
Yeah, I didn't even get a chance to get a picture with him, but I'm sure I'll catch him at the next event, right?
we'll catch him. I
Yeah,
think
we'll
go
find him.
pay him a visit and bring some pancit and lumpia and adobo to his office.
Yeah, so those were the highlights of our past week. But we do have wonderful guests with us this evening, and so you'll get to meet them in a few minutes.
Yes.
And so, do you think we should go ahead and take a commercial break? We'll
Take
see
a
you
commercial break
when we get
and
back.
we'll see you in a bit.
In a world filled with fleeting moments, there's beauty waiting to be captured. My name is Christian, and I specialize in immortalizing your most precious memories. From elegant weddings to vibrant events and timeless portraits, I'm here to make every moment unforgettable. Let me tell your story through the lens. Contact me today and let's create magic together.
And we are back.
And our special guests are
Joel and Princess Bamba, and they own Freedom Cargo in Houston, Texas. Welcome.
Hello, hi. Thank you for having us here.
Yeah, of course.
And-
We've always wanted for you to be our guest, but you're always busy, so
we're
we're
always
glad
on
you
the
found
road.
the time.
finally
Yes.
we caught you. And
Yes,
and
we did.
we got you here. We've gone a long way since you. What year did you start?
2014 of August. Actually, this would be our 11 years in 2 months. In two
And-
months, yes.
11 years
11
of Freedom
years.
Cargo.
11 years. Yeah, we've been blessed.
And of course, we remember when you just started, and we were also doing our
Consular outreach.
consular outreach,
outreach.
before we had our reopening of the consulate here in Houston.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
So, man, and
It's been a while. 11 years.
That outreach, that's our biggest tool for marketing.
Mhm.
You know, that's where people get to know us in regards about the balikbayan boxes and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So the Philippine American Chamber of Commerce are proud to showcase
Thank you.
Joel and Princess as one of the successful businesses that have been helped by PACC.
Yes.
And
We've seen them from their infancy.
Yes.
Yeah.
When we started with zero.
When we started with no clients. Yes.
and we're glad that PACC could help, and that's what we do.
So let's go back. Let's find out who are Joel and Princess. So
Oh.
we'll talk about Freedom Cargo in a few minutes, but I think our viewers want to know who you are. Just tell us a little bit
Okay.
about yourselves, or a lot. It's up to you.
Okay.
We're among friends. Don't worry about it.
Hello, everyone. Ako po si Joel Bamba, the owner of Freedom Cargo. I migrated in the United States back in 1987. I believe I was 11 or 12 years old then. So pretty much I grew up in Chicago. So I've done I went to elementary, all my throughout my high school. But things growing up in America. After high school, I decided to work full time to help out my parents.
Mhm.
So, but as I work full time as a warehouse worker, I tried to go back to school as a vocational. I tried medical field, CNA, PT tech, OT tech, surgery tech, all that tech you could think of in a medical field. I tried them all. Yes. So I had fun to it, but then my passion is pretty much warehousing, shipping and receiving. So that's my cup of tea. 12 years for 15 years of warehousing. That's where I lasted. So then after that, then that's how I
You
met
worked for the
my-
airlines too, didn't you?
I actually did. I worked for the airline. When I
I've known
moved-
him too long. I know
Yes.
about these things.
From Chicago, we moved to Texas, 2007, and in Edinburgh,
Yes.
very close to the border of Mexico, and majority of people that speaks there are Spanish.
Mhm.
And since I don't speak Spanish, I was having a hard time looking for a job until we met someone that works at the airline, and she kind of hooked us up with a part-time job.
Mhm.
I got bored because I'm a type of person that I like to do things one after the other. So sitting pretty, it's not me. It's not mine. That's not.
So you
my
like to be
personality.
active. You just want to
Yes.
keep going.
So I work at I tried to work for the airline for a few years.
Mhm.
Obviously, I enjoyed it. The free flight, I enjoy that very, very much. While she's working as a full-time physical therapist.
So I came to America in 1993 after I graduated physical therapy.
In the Philippines.
Yes, I graduated from the University of Santo Tomas. We were the first year that they did the 5-year program. So it was interesting because the first job I got was in Iowa, and it's a really small town.
Mhm.
So I had some challenges because people would question, obviously, why I was there, if I was taking a job meant for an American, and you end up getting a thicker hide.
Mm. Oh yeah.
You learn to answer back, and they realized that I was not a typical Asian that was just cower behind the scenes. I knew how to hold my ground. So I was a practicing therapist for about 22 years.
Wow.
So I was a traveling therapist for a little bit, and then I decided, the small towns are not for me anymore. So I moved to Chicago, and that's where we met. So initially, we moved to McAllen and Edinburgh area because we wanted to invest in properties.
Mhm.
So we were really aggressive when we were younger. So the first year or two, we ended up purchasing like 3 or 4 properties.
In McAllen.
Rental properties, yes.
And we did that for a while. So that's why he could only do part-time work, since I had to do the full-time job. So because he was taking care of the properties we had in the McAllen area. So after that, then we got introduced by my brother out of Dallas with balikbayan boxes, because I have a tendency to send maybe 5 to 6 boxes a year. So in McAllen, the balikbayan boxes were very expensive. Even though I was sending to Manila, it was still over $100 a box.
Wow.
So since there was quite a bit of them, we would drive to Houston to drop off the boxes.
Mhm.
And then after we decided, okay, as clients, we could probably, because we ended up partnering with someone that didn't quite work out. So we'll leave it at that.
Mhm.
And then so we decided, okay, I think we can do a better job. So that's when we opened up Freedom Cargo. And it's been what you call a baptism by fire, because it was a very, very, very steep learning curve for us. And thank God I had a full-time job, because you had to bridge the expenses
Mhm.
the first few years. And there were times that Joel was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I told him, nope, you got in there, you're going to finish it.
Yeah. Because sorry to cut you, just because of commute to Houston, from McAllen to Houston, you're
6
talking
hours.
about the 6 hours of not stopping.
Mhm.
So that's every week, every Friday that I had to go back to our to the valley,
Mhm.
just to kind of reset my mind.
Mhm.
And then she has to push me on a Monday to drive back to Houston. That's for a few months that we have to
It
do
takes a
that.
toll
Yes.
It,
on
it,
you
it does.
when,
It does.
when you have to drive that every week.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And ultimately, it's got to be an agreement between the
Mhm.
couple
Mhm.
that you decide that you're going to build this business as a team. And there were times that I was ready to quit, but he was there. Come on, let's go. And
So you were
then-
supporting each other.
Yes.
Oh yes.
It
Yes.
has to be that way.
It has to be.
Be a mutual.
Yes, because the path hasn't been smooth. It's been very rocky. But the best thing that I remember is if you tackle something in one accord, then God will be there to help.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And through thick and thin, He's been there. So there's got to be three people in that relationship, and that's our
Always.
faith has been there. So it's been the one that's been able to bridge us through.
I know, and it's amazing how the two of you have been able to support each other through these years. And considering that this business is not your original
Yes.
No, it's
idea,
It's not.
No.
It's not.
and it sounds like it was born out of necessity in a way, because you
Yes.
found a way. Hey, we're shipping balikbayan boxes, but you found a way to do it better, right? To do it a little bit more
We're
efficiently.
hoping we did a better job. And honestly, I grew up in Manila, and so I would see these pictures of these people that live in nipa huts with mud floors,
Mhm.
and I just thought that was tourism to get people to send you money through a charity.
Mhm.
After we started doing the business, Joel grew up here in America, so he doesn't know where anything is in the Philippines. So geographically, he didn't know where Bicol and Butuan was.
Butuan or Bataan.
Yeah,
I get
so-
confused.
And back then, the prices of balikbayan boxes was different from Manila, Luzon, Visayas,
Mhm, mhm.
Mindanao,
The
and
farther you go,
Yes.
it gets
Correct.
more expensive.
And so, out of necessity for us, we decided to do one rate, and we were the only company that did that. So it didn't matter where you sent your boxes; it was
Mhm.
going to be one rate from Manila all the way to the island.
Mhm.
And the first few months we started doing that, that's when I realized that those pictures I saw were real. And I didn't realize how much the balikbayan boxes was truly a way for the families here or abroad to send their love and their
Mhm.
care,
Mhm.
and to be able to bridge that need that we have in the Philippines. And since I grew up in Manila, I had no shortage of things. You know, if I
Yeah.
wanted chocolates, I could go across the street and I could buy chocolates.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If I wanted canned goods, it was right there.
Yes.
But not everywhere in the Philippines is that accessible. And it's only after we started doing this business that we were like, oh, wow, I guess we had another purpose for starting the business, which is truly to bridge that gap.
Mhm.
And that became very, very evident during COVID.
Mhm.
Yeah, we were the only company who was open. And we had people begging us to stay open because they have families in the Philippines that was going hungry. So I was like, okay, so what are we going to do to protect ourselves? Because we have his parents that we have to take care
Because
of.
back then, obviously, we didn't know
Yeah.
how. I mean, if it's real,
How the
how
transmission was.
how
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. How did you? Okay, so you sent it from here. From when it lands in Manila, how was the distribution like?
Oh,
Because of those
Yes.
lockdowns.
It was very interesting because there were times that they were the only people that was walking down the middle of Main Street
By themselves, just by himself.
delivering that one box.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of fear
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
a lot of fear.
people are hungry and they're looking at those boxes and they know they can get
Those
food.
are canned goods.
And not only that, you don't know about transmission.
Yes.
So they were taking a big risk.
Yes.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So the beauty of this company is this: we own it. So you can't get any closer to the owner besides us. So at that time, we just tried to communicate with our clients and told them, hey, I'm sorry, instead of having a 5 to 10 day vaccine or the testing, like let's say for Biliran, it was only 3 days. So by the time they got to the port, they had to come back.
They have to come back
because they had to get retested. Because Biliran only allowed you to do 3 days from the
something
test.
like that. They're very, very strict.
So you can say communication was really important back then. And so let's hold that thought. Let's go to commercial, and we will pick up when we come back.
We'll see you in a bit.
Join us for a captivating new series where Lon sits down with the trailblazers of the music and entertainment world. Discover the stories behind the faces and voices that shape our culture and community.
We will bring you exclusive interviews with industry legends and rising stars. Behind the scenes insights and get a peek into the creative processes and personal journeys. Artists and performers and their upcoming shows and events.
Stay tuned for more updates and sneak peeks. Follow us on social media and subscribe to our channel.
Hello, we're back.
Hi.
You caught us in action.
That's right.
It's a live show, so you never know what to expect.
That's right.
So I think we have comments. So we'll take a few comments and questions, and we'll try to answer them. So from Tito Florencio Ginhawa, welcome Joel and Princess of Freedom Cargo.
Hello.
It's been a while since you've seen me.
And Cora Flores has a question. How I wish I could connect you with our J1 teachers who send balikbayan boxes to their family back home. Cora, you can.
We can do that, Cora.
Yeah.
So we will have your contact information.
Yes.
So.
And BACC has been really good about getting the information out. Like if you have any questions or any concerns, they know us personally, so it's not like
We know how to find you.
Yes.
We know where they live.
We can't hide.
Yeah. So and I'm sure it's a big benefit that you have a one rate balikbayan box. Do you still do that today?
Yes.
It's still one rate to any part of the Philippines.
Yes.
And what is the current rate?
Well, it really depends on their location. So I
Okay.
think
Well, right now here in Houston, we start at $75
Okay.
flat rate.
Mhm.
All the way, even though they say you're planning to send it to Zamboanga,
Oh,
it's a
yeah.
$75.
Batanes.
actually
No.
I had to tell you Batanes.
Yeah, I have to look. I'm like, oh my God, where is
Yeah.
Batanes now?
Way up north.
Yes. Actually, the issue we're having with Batanes is the fact that the person that delivers there can't deliver consistently because there's not that many people that live in Batanes at this time.
Mhm, mhm.
So the beauty of working with our forwarder, which is UMAC,
Uh-huh.
they identify areas that have like increasing population that are sending to that area. So we opened up a branch by Cotabato with General Santos because they noticed there was a lot of people that were sending in that area. So instead of having it dispatched from either CDO or Davao or Butuan, which will take longer by land, then they decided to open up a provincial warehouse in the Cotabato area. So that's our newest warehouse that UMAC opened
cool.
2 or 3 years ago. Yeah.
So let's backtrack a little bit. So I know we all know what balikbayan boxes are, but for the benefit of people who are watching, don't know what balikbayan boxes are, maybe you can give us a quick balikbayan box 101. What is a balikbayan box?
What is the
and
balikbayan
what
box?
happens when you pick up the balikbayan box? Maybe give them an
Well,
idea.
let's start with balikbayan, meaning
Balik.
going back,
Going
Right.
back home.
going back home.
So the balikbayan box was established around 40 years ago when the Philippine government noticed that there was a lot of OFWs that needed a way to send their love back home. So even though balikbayan box translates as going back to the Philippines, it's actually, for me, it was my love. I'm sending it back home.
Okay,
Yes. So I think about my brother. I'm buying him pants or shoes or slippers or food, and I pack it in that box, and that's why balikbayan boxes have so much. It's such an integral part of the Filipino culture because we're so far apart from them.
Mhm.
And it's also a great surprise for them when they
They don't know what's
open the
coming.
box and they go, "Oh,
Smells good.
amoy America."
Yeah, that's what they all say.
Yung amoy talaga. But
It's the smell of
yes, basically
America.
the balikbayan boxes it's just contains a lot of stories behind it.
Mhm.
You don't just buy things and just pack it. There's always like a thought to it. Let's say, for example, you're thinking about your nephews and nieces, they're in college. You think about what do you want to give them
That they can use.
that they can appreciate or use.
Okay,
on the-
talking about what to give them, give us stories about what shouldn't have been in the
No,
box.
no, we'll go there. We'll go there. We'll go there. We'll talk about what should be in the box right now.
It should be.
Well, basically, it's simply just pretty much it's household goods. Okay.
Oh, see, we're looking at a picture. Tell us what this is. It's your warehouse,
It's my warehouse. Look how clean I stack those boxes.
and you do it yourself, right?
Oh yes.
Show them your muscles.
Show them the goods.
Yeah. So again, stacking, staging those boxes. I mean, there's a lot of love to it, and I don't know if you guys can tell from the picture. All those boxes are staged upright.
And they're all the same size. Well,
They're all-
generally they're the same sizes, right?
It's just a lot easier for
So,
me to load boxes.
what is the normal size of balikbayan box?
It's the jumbo.
Which is they call it jumbo, 24, 17, 25. Some companies they use 24, 18, 24.
Mhm.
So basically it's space-wise, those are standard. I believe it's about
Yeah.
6 cubic feet,
66.
something like that.
Yes,
Yeah.
66.
And how big are the cargo containers that these boxes go into?
It's 40-foot container. It's about, if they're all perfect size, we can load up to 400 boxes,
Wow.
depending on the weight.
Right, and that's the other thing.
Yes.
I've seen you put the boxes in the container, and I'm always in awe how you're able to. I call it Tetris in a way.
Yeah.
You put them all in this in proper order, and you're able to load how many boxes again in a 40-foot container?
400?
Up to 400 boxes.
Up to 400 if they're all the same size.
And they're all the same size.
When
and-
you load them into the
Container.
trailer, the
Mhm.
shipping container, do you already classify them by region or
No.
no?
They're all mixed.
Okay.
You just throw them in
Oh,
there.
Well,
all
actually,
mixed.
they have to be, well, the way Joel is staging it is they do the heaviest at the bottom,
Mhm.
and then
Mhm.
it's supposed to go lighter on top so
Okay.
that you don't damage the boxes.
So you don't have to classify them.
No.
Okay.
You're too logical.
We used to do
We
a
did that
delivery
before.
direct to Cebu.
Oh.
Since we never really had any mentors, and this is the first business we've done, so we're learning as we go. So what we found was there's not that many shipping lines that go to Cebu. So the same container that went to Manila was faster being delivered to Cebu than it was going directly to Cebu. So we stopped going to Cebu. So that's why we consolidated in Manila, because they have shipping lines that go, and shipping cargo that go from Manila to Cebu on like at least weekly.
Okay, so the containers all go to Manila,
Yes.
to a warehouse where then they sort it where they're supposed to go.
By
Yes.
region, and then they do this weekly base. That's when they dispatch boxes.
Okay, because you answered one of my questions. Do you ship directly to any other parts of the Philippines now? I know it's all going to Manila.
Yes. And part of that is because not every place will accommodate that big shipping cargo vessel. So, like I know the mayor said no.
No, he refused.
Don't dirty my
Yeah.
port. So
Yeah.
it has to be 20-footer. So they go from the 40-footer to the 20-footer that's shipped directly to the provincial warehouses. And then we do have like Iloilo is more of a Roro.
Roll on,
So
roll
we
off.
didn't even know. I didn't even know what that was. So, so what that is you get a truck that rolls onto
The ferry.
The ferry,
ferry.
yes, the
And it
provincial
can
ferry.
yes,
Mhm.
and like I said, I didn't know any of this.
We
And,
learn as we go.
Yes, and it contains 250 boxes.
The 20-foot
Per-
container.
Yeah, that goes on the Roro.
Mhm.
So when they get off at Iloilo Port, then they start
They
delivering.
start delivering with that big of a truck.
Yes. So that's why we have some clients that are like, how come they can't park right in front of my house? And I said, well, you're kind of in the middle of nowhere. So the truck will sink
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
because given the weight. So they have to travel with the dolly
Yeah.
through the rice paddies and all
I've
of
seen
that.
your pictures
Mhm.
where they push him on the dolly going through these provincial
Like
Mhm.
roads in the
through
back ways
farm.
to the
Yes.
farm.
Yes.
It's not even a road. It's just
No.
grass.
Yes. So it's like I said, we didn't do this business. We didn't really have that many mentors that could walk us through the whole process of the delivery. So that was quite a wake up call for us. Realizing just logistically, it's a nightmare to deliver in the Philippines. And we always, like when he goes live, we always tell them, please provide contact numbers for
Mhm.
your recipients. Because until now, we're shooting around 60% on the contact numbers. And it's really hard because if they're in the middle of nowhere,
Mhm.
they need to make sure someone's there to receive the box.
Right, and you take pictures, right? You take a picture of the people who actually take delivery of the
receive it,
box.
yeah.
Uh-huh. And if they're not there, then the box goes back to the warehouse.
Yeah. And then you have to
You have to wait for the next.
go back.
Delivery,
Yeah.
yes.
Paano
The next
umakit pa ng bundok yun? Bababa ng bundok.
Ayun na
Tapos,
nga
Yun.
po. Yes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we
Yeah.
had incidents like that. So that's why the contact number of the recipient, we need at least two, is very
Mhm.
important.
Mhm. Okay. Let's go take a break. I know it's a little early. Let's take a break and we will come back and we will talk about a few more stories
Okay.
of that you've discovered.
All right. We're ready.
Tune into Legal Treats with attorney Eileen Ligote Dizon
every Friday at 7 p.m. Central Time.
Get your weekly dose of legal knowledge, especially on family matters like divorce, child custody, child support, estate planning, probate and immigration.
Engage in discussions by posting your questions, comments, greetings or shoutouts.
See you every Friday at 7 p.m. Central Time. That would be Saturday at 9 a.m. Philippines. Don't miss out.
Oh, and we're back. Welcome back.
And we have some comments from
May De Vera. What
hindi ko
made
pala
Freedom
mabasa.
Cargo different to other cargo businesses? I think we know the answer, but go ahead and tell them.
Direct service. We're just, since people gotten to know us as we are the owner, my number is marked on my box.
Your personal cell
My
phone
personal cell phone number is on the box, so if to contact me any day, anytime, even midnight, I get text.
Yes.
24/7, huh?
Let's try that.
Yes, in regards to follow up. No, the reason why, because especially at nighttime,
Mhm.
I get a lot of texts at nighttime, and pretty much we get a faster answer from our forwarder
Mhm.
Yeah.
because it's during daytime over there. So, but this is why we're I'll say a little bit different than others. Start to finish. This I have to say this out loud. Start to finish is us. From the time we pick up your boxes, which is either myself or my agent, all the way down to the warehouse, that will be transported by either us or our agent, staged to the warehouse, loaded to the container, ship it to the Philippines. That's all us. There is no third party. All the way down to the Philippines, start to finish, up to the delivery. That is nothing but us. There is no third party.
Yes.
I have a question.
Sure.
From Houston, where does it go? LA?
No, we use.
We used to use LA port
Uh-huh.
because it's faster. But something happened 2 years ago.
Uh-huh.
A couple of our containers that we lost a few boxes, hundreds of boxes. So we decided just to use Houston port. And what we noticed is it's just like no stress. I mean, it'll take a little bit longer,
Mhm.
transit time wise, but I can easily sleep as soon as container leaves out of our warehouse to the port. I had no worries anymore.
So from Houston Port all the way to Manila?
Well, there's an Asian stop.
Okay.
There's always either Taiwan, which is the main stop. If Taiwan is not available, it's either Singapore or South Korea.
So there's a little layover.
Yes,
But
yes.
does it stay on the same ship?
No.
So it transfers to a different ship once it gets to Asia.
Yes.
So, like I said, this is all interesting for us. It was quite a learning curve. So, we didn't know that, like this year, the tariffs would have such a dramatic effect on our business.
Definitely.
Yes, because what happened was when Trump was playing around with the tariffs with China, it affected the number of imports.
Uh-huh.
So less imports means less exports. So because it's the same container.
Oh, that's right.
So it's the same number, maybe not exactly the same container, but it's the same number that has to leave. So since America was importing
Less.
down to like a fourth of what you used to import, then it was almost like a battle to try to get a booking to get on that shipping line.
Yes.
So that's the same here and even in LA.
And the containers too. We never think about it. The incoming container is also the outgoing container.
Yes, yes. So like a lot of our clients right now are noticing a delay, and that's because of that tariff. And it's so interesting because before all of this happened, China started loading their shipping, their cargo vessels with a lot of the stuff that's supposed to come into the US. So a lot of those shipping lines are sitting in Asia.
It's just on hold.
So right now we have a delay because there's congestion in Asia.
Wow.
So these containers are like sitting, they're waiting for an open spot. And that's why a lot of that delay is happening right now in Asia.
Okay.
So you better start. You're gonna send a for Christmas. You can
We start doing it now.
Because see, right now, if you're looking at the average transit time from Houston Port to Manila Port,
What was it before? Let's do this. What was it before?
it was about 50
days.
50 days from Houston Port to Manila Port.
Okay. Now
Now we're looking at about 70 to 80 days average.
so an additional 3 weeks.
That I mean, if we're talking about a smooth sailing,
Mhm.
because there were times that after we loaded our container, our booking number was canceled.
Yes.
It was deleted in the system, and we had to wait for another available booking number.
And that's where that battlefield
Yes.
spaces.
Yeah. And sometimes when we wait for the booking number, the cutoff is not going to be within that week. It may be for the next month. It was
stressful.
It is very
It was.
stressful.
March wasn't fun.
March.
This past March?
Yes,
and the recipients
Yes.
Do not put this into consideration. They just want,
Um,
when is our box coming?
exactly.
Right,
You know,
they-
even though we try to do our best to do the truth, the honest answer,
We try to be transparent.
Yeah.
not everyone will understand the delay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is a good time to talk about how you track your shipments.
Sure.
Because I think you're one of the few that actually offers online tracking.
Yes, we do offer online tracking. Right now, what happens is after we load a container, then we obviously sort the boxes that left, and then that gets encoded. Unfortunately, not everyone's handwriting is legible. So we try to do, like I told my
Mga
staff,
pasaway na naman.
please make sure, and they call the senders. We need a contact number po sa Philippines. Kasi like I said, we're shooting around 60% on the contact number. So a lot of times they call, but sometimes they don't even get back with them. So we have to finish the manifest, and then it gets uploaded onto a website. The website is www.umaccargo.net, and you just enter the alphanumeric, which is a TF12345, and then it gives you an estimated time frame. And a lot of people read the ETA as exact time frame.
Or expected
Time frame.
time of arrival.
So
but-
I usually have to explain it's estimated.
Estimate.
So it's affected by so many factors, and once it leaves Houston Port, we're hoping that it doesn't encounter any delays. So right now you've got Indonesia has a volcanic eruption. You've got wars erupting. So all of that
And
affects,
weather too. I'm sure weather affects it.
So all of that affects the transit time of the boat. Obviously, if there's going to be huge waves, the boat's going to anchor somewhere so they don't flip over.
Or do they just take a longer route?
Yes.
Go
Yes.
around it? So that
Yes.
takes another number of days.
Yes.
Definitely.
We actually had one boat round the Strait of Bohol. I didn't even know Bohol had a strait. And the vessel actually capsized. It was hit by a rogue wave.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Wow.
Yeah, so we had several boxes that were lost.
We
at
lost.
sea.
Yeah, we lost several boxes.
And we ended up taking on that responsibility. We ended up paying what was covered under our insurance and all of that. And it was what I call that, an act of nature. So we didn't get reimbursed.
None.
So that came out of your pocket.
Yes.
But as a company, when you tell someone that this is our liability, whether it's covered by an insurance agency or not, that's still our responsibility, right? So, like I said, we're the owners. I grew up in healthcare. He grew up in, manufacturing. So we understand about accountability. So as a company, we have to be accountable for what we do. So I wish I could say everything's perfect, but it's really
You
not.
must be doing a lot of praying as soon as the boat leaves.
A lot.
Yes.
So you have, I don't know how to translate it into English, but you have malasakit because you're the owners.
Yes.
Yes.
You
And-
do care because you care. You talked about this earlier. It's love and care inside these boxes.
Yes.
It's people's lives that are affected by these boxes. So
Yes.
it's nice to know that you care.
Yes. And like I said, we used to be clients, and we still are, of Balikbayan boxes, because I still send.
Do you
boxes to the
use
family.
Freedom Cargo?
Of course.
So should we go for the don'ts?
Yeah. No. Let's go.
Humorous.
I think we have some pictures.
Yes.
So tell us about it. I've seen this on your Facebook page. So talk to us about the picture on the left. What is that sticking out of the box?
That's actually two swords.
Two swords.
That's two. That picture is already in the Philippines. It already arrived in the Philippines.
With the swords?
Yes. So our
So
provincial.
they're allowed. Wait, are they allowed to ship swords?
Basically not, because sword, especially a big size of sword, is considered as a weapon, regardless if it's a wall decoration. It will. Well, put it this way.
It's not the Moro, the big thing, the
The
weapons of
Chris-
Moroland.
The Chris.
No, it's not that one.
No.
You know,
These
see,
are
even though we think that it is for house decoration,
Mhm.
custom do not think the way we think. Okay,
Mhm.
so if they see sword through the X-ray, automatically that is a weapon.
Even if it's a toy sword, remember we talked about
we
this
have
before.
an
So-
incident that we have a client that sent a water gun.
Mhm.
So obviously, if you ask me, it's a toy,
Yeah,
right?
But
Go ahead,
not-
send it, right?
according to the X-ray.
But
Right.
once it goes through the X-ray, they saw a gun.
yeah.
So we didn't get penalized, but we had to pay for all the delays of clearing at the port, which is
Mhm, mhm.
10,000 pesos per day until
See?
who knows
Now,
when.
now I know not to send water
So,
guns
that's
to my
right.
grandkids.
So this is like our learning curve as well. So we learn as we
So-
go.
So I think for
Swords,
this
guns,
sword, I
but-
think if somebody out there wants to send a sword, not that we recommend it, but if you are going to send a sword, please make sure it's packaged properly, because you told me the
Packaged.
story about this. They were moving the boxes and the sword stuck out.
Yes.
Yes.
They actually that part they were moving it, and suddenly
deliver
the,
it.
the
That's
sword
dangerous.
just,
It is.
just came out of the
You could have gotten
corner box.
impaled on it.
Actually, we
Yeah.
had one box that was sent to Iloilo,
Mhm.
and that happened too. As
Yeah.
he was bringing the box down, the sword came out.
So,
What's with the swords?
I
So we
have no
don't-
idea.
so because I follow your Facebook page, I know the story. So talk about the boxes that leak oil.
Oh my goodness. There was one time we were loading at night, and my husband just hollers, "Move out of the way!" Because the box was leaking oil. It was black oil.
It was black oil.
like a motor oil. And I was underneath, I was driving the forklift.
She was on the forklift.
Oh, you drive the forklift
Yes.
too.
Yes.
So he's like, "Get out of the way!" And it's because the oil just came out. Because when you turn the box, the cover or
They didn't seal it properly.
even if they did, because
the
it moved.
motion.
Oh, because the
The
boxes
motion
don't stay
can-
upright,
Right.
right?
Yes.
Because they get turned around
Yes.
different.
Until you finish loading it, then it's loaded upright. But obviously, you have
Oh.
to roll it and whatever have you.
Right.
And then I guess the cap came off, and then the whole thing just, and unfortunately, it damaged some of the boxes coming down.
Right. It affects other people's boxes too.
Yes. You did.
Yes.
And so,
So
what do you do with that?
Well, obviously we had to move out of the way first, and then we took the box out, and then we had to wipe whatever damage was done to the
Mhm,
other
mhm.
boxes, and then we had to call the senders of the other boxes that were damaged
Mhm.
to let them know, hey, we didn't throw oil on your box. It just happened that this one guy did, or female packed this there. The other incident was cooking oil.
Why
We know
does
the
she think
sender.
cooking oil?
We know the sender. She's from the valley. They were on sale. They were the big 5-gallon ones. She said, my family could use this. So she didn't tape it. So she decided to put them in the box, laying down. It's not even
Not even upright.
No.
So not taped, not secured, laying down. So obviously, as we were moving it, I'm like, what's that liquid on the floor?
Uh-huh.
So it's oil.
Cooking oil.
Yeah. So 3 of those, she sent 5 big 5-gallon bottles of cooking oil, and 3 of them opened.
Ooh.
So we had to call the sender and ask her,
repackage it? We're gonna have
ask
to
her if
repack
we
it?
can open it
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
And then she asked us if we can repack it.
So you repack them for them.
Yes.
So I don't think that all the other balikbayan box companies do that. Do they repack?
I'm not sure. I haven't asked them.
So let's go back to so there's a question, a comment. How many balikbayan boxes have you shipped so far? I was going to ask
And
you when you
that's
said,
from our friend Roland Castro.
right. And so when you said 11 years of Freedom Cargo, I was going to say, how many boxes in
How
11
many?
years? I don't know if you know that number.
No.
No,
Just
but the first
How
few
many
years-
containers times how many boxes per container?
400 per
400.
container.
So let's say if we're talking about this year, this week, this would be our 24?
25th
25th container.
container. Times 400.
Times 400, so go figured.
We can't do math. I'm
That's
sorry.
that's
I need my cell phone for
right.
that.
So that's the 6 months.
So a lot. Let's just say a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
It's
10,000.
10,000 boxes
10,000 boxes so far for this year.
That's without
just for this year.
before peak season.
That's not even peak season times 11 years.
Times 11 years. Yeah.
But then that's just consider it's one box per week, one container per week, right?
Yes.
Yes.
But what if you said you can do 5 containers a week? That's even
Yes.
more.
That's
So
yeah.
maybe after this, maybe people will be encouraged to send their care packages to the Philippines.
Yeah.
Through
We'll show
Freedom
your
Cargo.
contact information.
Thank you.
But I want to go back to that picture again with the sword if we can. Because the picture on the right is their pet peeve and mine. Because people insist on using duct tape. That is duct tape, the gray
Yeah.
tape.
Yes.
It's wonderful for wrapping pipes, but not
Duct-
for boxes.
No.
Tell them why.
Well, Houston has a lot of humidity, and so is the Philippines. And the transit time averages around 60 days.
Mhm.
So duct tape just opens up.
Mhm.
It doesn't stick to the box.
It does
It's
not
really-
stay
it's-
on paper at
yeah,
all.
It's duct tape,
Right.
so it's meant for ducts. So
Yeah.
we
And it's spelled DUCT,
Yes.
not for ducks na bibi. ah.
Bibi.
Yes.
So,
So we brought a sample of a heavy duty clear tape, and we did research on this one. So this is 2.7 mil. So like I send a lot of boxes to the Philippines, so I need to make sure my box stays closed
Mhm.
because I don't want the contents of my box to fall out.
Mhm.
So we found that anything less than 2.7 was too thin
Mhm.
because it gets crunchy with the heat
Mhm.
being in the container. So 2.7 seems to hold its form.
So it's the industrial strength.
Yes, it's actually heavy duty.
Heavy duty.
As long as it's called heavy duty clear tape
The-
and 2.7 mil.
yes.
Yeah.
Anything,
So to our audience, please pay attention. No duct tape.
please.
Please use heavy duty clear tape.
And I think this is cheaper than duct tape.
Yes.
it is a
like
lot
quite
cheaper.
bit. Yes.
Yes.
And anything thicker than 2.7 ends
Overkill?
up opening up on its own.
Oh.
Really?
Yes.
Mhm.
So it doesn't hold like when I'm taping, when you go over a corner, it does this.
Because
Because
it's
it's
too
too
thick.
thick.
Too thick. Yes.
So there's a science to it too.
Yes.
No thicker than 2.7.
Yes.
Now I'm learning about tape. I thought you can just use any
Any old
Clear
clear tape?
Yes.
But well, we started from there. We
Yeah,
just
we
start.
didn't
You
know
know what?
any
We'll
better.
just buy any heavy duty clear tape,
Yeah.
and then as
I
within
love when I
10
see
years.
balikbayan boxes wrapped in duct tape. They're like,
And you see them unraveling.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, at the warehouse, we end up having to retape them.
Mhm.
So whenever
And he used the other tape.
yeah, so when we retape the boxes with the heavy duty clear tape, we use the Freedom Cargo box.
So you know it's
Okay.
been so they know that you
Yes.
retaped it.
That we
Yes.
did it. Yes.
And the cool thing about this tape is if you try to peel it off of a box,
Oh, it's one of those you can tell if it's been
Yes.
tampered.
Yes.
it doesn't stay that way. The colors come off.
okay. So
Tamper resistant.
Yes,
tape.
it's tamper resistant. So that's why we went with that tape.
Oh
We
my-
don't charge anything additional for that tape, but it's just for us. Like I said, we care about these boxes.
I thought those boxes that were wrapped in duct tape would end up becoming waterproof if
No.
they.
Now it's considered as a giveaway box because as I load these boxes, that's what when I saw all this duct tape, what happens if I
Mhm.
load them. So as soon as I saw that, then we educate clients.
Yeah.
So again, this is all learning as
so
we
before,
go.
So before you pick it up,
Mhm.
upon pickup, you tell them, "No, ma'am."
And
Yeah,
a
you
lot
don't
of
want to
time-
wait.
Yes, a lot of times, like when I was a physical therapist, I was also a clinical instructor. So part of what I did was instruct and educate my patients. So this is what we've been doing with the balikbayan boxes. So obviously, some people will listen, some people won't. both at our warehouse.
So,
Pasaway.
you know what? This has been really entertaining in a way and very educational. And I wish we could keep going, but we're
Thank you
quickly
so
running
much
out
for
of
your
time.
time.
So I think what we can do, there's your Facebook page. They do respond to comments on their Facebook page
Yes,
because
you do.
I've seen them and I make comments on their page.
Yes, you do.
So there's their phone number, 281-586-8283. That's your personal phone number. No, that's the office number.
That's
Office
my
number.
That's the office number.
Yes.
And
And-
there's their email, freedomcargo@yahoo.com.
And their address is
4003 Cypress Creek Parkway, Houston, Texas 77068. They can drop off if they
Yes.
want to,
Yes.
but if they can't, they call that number and then they can schedule a pickup.
Yes.
is there a pickup fee?
That right now, that's the one that's Joel mentioned, the $75 for the pickup
That-
in
that-
the Houston area.
So that includes the transportation.
That's everything.
fee. That's all inclusive.
Yes.
So you can pick it up? Okay. Help me tonight.
No, I can't. So anyway, just stay there. We're gonna wrap up. So we usually end the show by saying what the future events are for PACCTX, the Greater Houston region on June 26th. Mark your calendar. We have a very good speaker series. Our speaker is none other than our very good friend Roseanne Aragon, who is the Microsoft Global AI Innovation Storytelling Communications Manager. And she's going to talk about leading the era of AI innovation. You don't want to miss this. Please register
Very
so we will
interesting.
know how many people are going to be attending. So we look forward to seeing you. And there is the flyer. So if you go to our Facebook page, you will see the QR code so you can register for it. Please let us know that you will be coming so we can appropriately prepare snacks for you. And Manay, you have one more to add, right?
Yes. There is a film screening and concert at the Asia Society here in Texas. It is a tribute to Larry Ramos, featuring the associations. Remember the songs in the 60s? Cherish is the word I used.
We didn't know
to
there's a
describe-
Filipino in the group.
I didn't know.
So there,
Cherish my love, never my love.
Oh my
And then
goodness.
Wendy, Along Comes Mary. I didn't know there was a Filipino in the group.
so there.
I just know the songs.
So Asia
So-
Society is actually having a movie about them, and they're going to have a concert. So again, it's on our Facebook page if you want to go. There's
This
a small
is
fee.
on June 27th.
A week from tomorrow.
Yes.
So it's at the Asia Society, Texas, in close to Herman Park in Houston.
In Southmore.
Yes. So we are going. So
Yes, we are.
anyway, thank you so much for being here
You're welcome.
tonight. We
Thank
enjoyed it.
And thank you for having us.
It's our pleasure.
It's our
You're
pleasure.
you're a
We are-
success story for the chamber. We
Yes.
saw you when you were starting, and look where you are now.
Yes.
Look at us. We've grown.
We're grown. So
We have
will-
grown.
So our next episode is going to be on July 3rd. We will see you then. Until then, thank you so much for being with us. And again, this is Bobby Reyes with Testuazon, Joel, and Princess Bamba. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll see you again.